Episode 352. Jia Dynasty's concentrated firepower finally revealed the true advantage of their overwhelming numbers in the 10th server. Other guilds certainly had some top-tier players grinding in Sin City at the time, but none could match the sheer numbers of excellent Dynasty. At this moment, Dynasty's presence in the Heavenly Domain was incredibly weak, because all their top players had rushed to the 10th server for the clearing effort. Back in the Heavenly Domain, the guild rivalries were locked in a stalemate, a balance impossible to break in the short term. So Chen Yahui decided to go all in this time, pouring more resources into the 10th server. His goal was to build a dominant position here, using it to attract the new server's top talent and strengthen his own forces. So far, things haven't been going smoothly. While they did eventually conquer the Frost Forest dungeon, Lu Hao stopped helping afterwards. Since then, it's been Lord Grimm stealing all the spotlight in every subsequent dungeon. Chen Yahui had been grinding his teeth this whole time, but his earlier schemes against Lord Grimm were driven more by personal spite. But after Lu Hao's rational withdrawal, Chen Yahui also saw the light. Now, every move he makes is a calculated decision, no longer driven by petty rivalry.
Flip to the first page and take a look.
Chen Yahui sent the message to Swordpoint. When Swordpoint opened to the first page and scanned it, he immediately understood what the guild leader wanted him to see. Ranked 218th, Lord Grimm.
He's climbing the ranks like a rocket.
That's right. Just over an hour ago, he wasn't even on the leaderboard. Now he's already shot up to 218th place. His current points are still far behind our guys, but I've calculated his momentum. If he keeps up this pace, he'll knock our 15th spot down in just 3 hours. And then there's Windcomb's Mist on page 14 of the leaderboard. I don't need to say who that is. It's only a matter of time before she shoots up the ranks too. But at least we don't have to worry too much about him. He doesn't have the time to keep up that kind of performance. But that guy, he's a different story.
But even if they push their way in, we'll still have the numbers.
Don't you get it? The moment he pushes his way to the top, the entire 10th server's public opinion will shift. No one will care how outstanding our achievements are. Everyone will just focus on the fact that Lord Grimm has crushed us once again. Look at a single-player dungeon record. Second place isn't as good as first. But can you really say second place is terrible? But on the 10th server, any record he tramples over becomes worthless. The whole guild is instantly seen as trash, unable to hold its head up. Nothing like this happens in any other server. This whole rotten trend, it's all because of this guy.
So
we absolutely cannot let him climb that leaderboard. We won't allow one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch.
Chen Yahui's message was a declaration, wasn't it? Jianfeng Jisuo could see Chen Yahui's resolve. As someone close to him within the guild, he knew all about Chen Yahui's history with Ye Chu and the deep-seated grudge he held. Chen Yahui had weighed the pros and cons of this situation perfectly clearly, but was there a hint of personal grudge mixed in there too? Was it those personal grudges that made him so utterly determined? Of course, Jianfeng Jisuo didn't ask. Perhaps it was better this way. He could settle both public grievances and private scores in one fell swoop.
what's your plan?
I'll analyze the manpower for you, and you handle it. You don't necessarily have to fight him, just slow him down. Figure out a way.
Chen Yahui had a reason for giving this task to Swordpoint. In the Heavenly Domain, Swordpoint's reputation for cunning was second to none. Taking on Ye Chu in a straight-up fight was clearly unwise, a waste of time and effort, and a good way to get yourself hurt. Better to handle things with a bit of subtlety, getting the job done quietly and making Lord Grimm swallow a bitter pill without a word. Swordpoint was undoubtedly the perfect man for that. Even if I went myself, I might not have as many tricks up my sleeve as he did.
Alright, I'll handle it.
Jianfeng Suoji was itching to vent his frustration, and he was quite confident in his ability to play these kinds of games. Ye Chu was undoubtedly a top-tier pro, but for years, he'd only played in professional matches. Those are contests with a single, clear goal: victory. There's no room for other considerations. But in the online game world, things are far more complex than a simple match to determine a winner. Swordpoint was determined to make this top-tier expert taste the wisdom and cunning of a true online gamer. As he thought it over, Swordpoint checked the Christmas Hunter rankings again. One glance was all it took to make him jump. In just the time it took to exchange a few messages, Lord Grimm's rank had climbed again. He was 218th before, but now he's already up to 211th. Swordpoint felt he had to act immediately. He began making his way towards Sin City while contacting Chen Yahui to arrange for backup. In Sin City, Thunder still flashed across the sky from time to time, and the fine rain continued to fall without end. Lord Grim and Soft Mist split up, each patrolling a different corner of the city in search of the Christmas thieves. Yichu and Tang Ru operated their keyboards and mice in silence, not uttering a single word. Seated between them, Chen Guo was also at the controls, her character Chasing Haze sprinting wildly through the heavenly domain. With a heavy thud, Chasing Haze tumbled into a pit.
Shit.
Chen Guo yelled, scrambling to get her character, Zhu Yanxia, out of the pit. His focus was completely shot. The one who was most tense, most excited, and most thrilled during that PK just now wasn't Yishu, wasn't Tang Ru, and wasn't Swordpoint either. It was Chen Guo, the spectator. In the end, the two combatants calmly went back to their quests, leaving Chen Guo with a head full of thoughts and no one to share them with, stewing in a mess of frustration. Well, he couldn't exactly force them to share his level of excitement. Chen Guo swallowed her frustration and continued her aimless wandering. 4 Christmas thieves, that was his current tally. Bagging 3 in the first hour was already a stroke of incredible luck for any average player. But this past hour, distracted by watching the other 2 play, I've been out of sorts. I only found 1, and that's it. Whenever he did spot 1, his lack of focus meant another player always snatched it first. Whenever someone beat her to the punch, Chen Guo would simply walk away without a word. But just because he did it, didn't mean everyone else had to. Killing and stealing monsters was happening everywhere along the way. Chen Guo had managed to take down 4 Christmas thieves without encountering any trouble along the way. That was no small feat. The Heavenly Domain is a world where only the strongest survived. Here, PK carries no system penalties, but death results in heavier experience loss and a higher item drop rate. In the Heavenly Domain, murder and looting are daily occurrences. Many players might resent the atmosphere in the Heavenly Domain, but it's not mandatory to enter. Players have a choice. But the Heavenly Domain offers better gear, more materials, stronger bosses, and more challenging dungeons. It's a constant temptation, luring players in. If you can resist the temptation, you can absolutely keep playing in the 1st through 8th servers. With every official update, these non-Heavenly Domain zones also get their share of new content. They're never left behind. Chen Guo actually preferred the Heavenly Domain. This place, where danger could strike at any moment, felt far more thrilling to him. He'd been ambushed and lost gear before, which pissed him off so much he didn't want to play for a week, even considered going back to the old server. But before long, he'd always sneak his way back to the Heavenly Domain. This land possesses a magic all its own, yet at this moment, Chen Guo held not a shred of fondness for the Heavenly Domain. He kept rigidly pressing the forward key, turning left and right, his fingers growing numb from the monotony. Around him, the clatter of keyboards and mice came from both sides. He didn't need to look to know both players were hard at work. In their new server zone, places like Sin City were sparsely populated. It was a rare case of too many wolves and not enough sheep. The two of them barely had to walk a few steps before spotting another Christmas thief, gleefully pouncing on it for the kill. With such a stark contrast, how could Chen Guo possibly feel any fondness for the Heavenly Domain right now?